We got PGA Championship. We got Rick Tocchet, the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers now. We got the Eagles' schedule. And we got Aaron Nola struggling. We're going to go 4 for 4 today on sports. Maybe 5 for 5. Maybe we'll talk the Sixers and the NBA draft lottery or the NBA playoffs. Hey, so maybe we'll go 7 for 7. Who knows what we're going to talk about today? It's going to be a fun football, golf, baseball, basketball, hockey Friday. Trending in the AM. We're live, taking your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. Please, wherever you're watching, hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page. 519 subscribers still. K1 let me down. He said we'd be at 520 this morning. It's not happening. It did not happen. So, guys, please like, share, subscribe. And if you're watching on Twitter, please find the STT Sports Network YouTube page and hit subscribe there as well. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. Literally, the only thing you will do today is like, share, and subscribe to this show and to this channel, guys. So please do your best or do your worst and hit those buttons for me. I greatly appreciate it. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, and we got a jam-packed show today. We're going to continue talking about the Eagles' schedule and how difficult I think it looks and feels. Definitely on the agenda. We're going to continue discussing it at length for the next couple days. We're going to talk PGA Championship. I thought we were going to live stream the PGA Championship, but clearly the PGA Tour sucks, as always, and we can't watch PGA Championship golf till 12 o'clock. Sucks. So we're not watching PGA Championship golf. We'll keep checking in on the scoreboard, but we can't actually watch it, which sucks. Phillies open a 3-game series this weekend against the Pirates. But the real talk of the town is Aaron Nola and what to do with Aaron Nola, because I have no clue what to do with Aaron Nola. So we're going to talk about Aaron Nola, his struggles, and what you could do with it. Rick Tocchet is now the new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, and I know a lot of you guys are not going to be happy with it. A lot of you are going to bash it. While I don't like it, I am going to try and find a way to be the yin to your yang on hating it. I don't know if I'm going to be capable of doing it, but I will try. So there's lots of things on the agenda. We'll see where the conversation goes, but we'll just jump right in. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? Good morning, Little G. We got news from last night at 6:30 saying Aaron Nola, nothing to see here. Aaron Nola plain old sucks. Right now, news, and if you're here, you just see, I want you to know I'm going to criticize Aaron Nola. I was going to give him 2-3 months more, but after Wednesday night's game, there's no supporting him. Good morning, Big Al. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Big Adam. Big Adam, where did that come from? Where the hell were you yesterday? I told you where I was. If you choose not to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, then I can't do anything for you. It's up to you to listen. It's up to you to retain the information I give you. But I've forewarned you for many moments and many times over the last week. There was no show yesterday. Good morning, Joe. How you doing? Crappy leaderboard. I don't know if I'd say it's a crappy leaderboard. It's a interesting leaderboard. It'll play a little harder today, Quail Hollow. It'll be interesting, and you're going to see a seismic shift on that leaderboard throughout the day today. Watch it as it dries out throughout the day and gets faster and faster and faster. The cream will rise to the top, and those mud balls will not happen quite as frequently to the top guys. The schedule is tough. All but 1 p.m. game is in the first half. Big Al, I don't think people realize I see way too many 13, 14, and 15 win predictions. And while I think the Eagles are a 15-win team or 15-win talented team, the schedule isn't a 15 14, 13-win schedule. That's the thing. There's a difference between talent on a team and how the schedule plays out. And I think that is why this team will win a lot of games. Arguably, may win the division still. But this Eagles schedule tells me just the way the ball's going to bounce, that's going to be an 11, maybe 12-win team. We'll see. Aaron Nola needs a phantom IL stint. I think that's really the only logical thing to do. His velocity is down. His location is down. Everything about him is off. So you send him on the IL. You let him rest for 2 weeks. You send him to the minors for a rehab stint. He can work the kinks out. And maybe he comes back and pitches well. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he was actually injured. With the 2 to 3 mile an hour dip in his velocity, maybe there's something wrong with his arm. You know, there's a such thing as a dead arm for pitchers. Maybe he's just got dead arm. And when a guy with his movement isn't moving the ball as he should, and then loses a couple miles an hour on his fastball, it's a problem. It almost feels like the NFL doesn't want the Eagles. Well, the NFL didn't want the Eagles winning in the first place, Peanut. That is for sure. The NFL doesn't want the Eagles ever succeeding. And I don't know why. The Eagles are great for business. Philadelphia sports is great for business. So these conspiracy theories against the Philadelphia sports teams don't make sense, because when Philadelphia fans are passionate about a team, that's best for business. So I don't get it. But that schedule definitely is doing the Eagles no favors. I saw ESPN got Eagles losing first 3 games and having 5 losses. Adam, I'm not going to lie. They easily could lose those first 3 games. They could go 2-3 in the first 5. I don't know about 0-3 to start. But they can lose the Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, and Broncos game. They're all losable games, Adam. They really are. And I'm not predicting they're going to lose all 3. But I can see them going 3-2 or 2-3 in the first 5 games. And then rattling off a couple wins in a row, 6, 7, and 8. So they could be 5-3 or 6-2 going into the bye week. Very, very possible the Eagles are 5-3 entering the bye week. Hell, it's possible after week 11 that they're 5-5. Very possible. There's 3 times on the schedule that are 10 days in between games, and too many less than 10 days. Exactly. And Big Al talked about this on Trending in the PM on Wednesday night when we went live for an hour there or so, breaking this schedule down in a little bit more detail, that this is going to be something like I asked the question, can, like, it's going to be a problem for all NFL teams eventually. They're doing games on Christmas, Thursdays, Fridays. You know, the schedule is so stretched out now to maximize national TV audiences and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot more less than 7-day rest periods. There's going to be a lot more 10-day rest periods, 8-day rest periods. The way they're doing the schedule now in the NFL, this is going to become the new norm. This is going to be part of the problem going forward for a lot of football teams. It's just extra noticeable for us looking at the Eagles' schedule at this point. Dear Phil, I'm with the Phil Illuminati members and think that the Eagles will win 14 because their roster's great. How you get an edge and another catchy tight end? We'll see. We'll see. Am I correct in saying that the Eagles have no back-to-back home games? You are correct in that. They have 2 back-to-back road games, but no back-to-back home games. Now they got 8 home games versus 9 this year, but still it's kind of shocking that there's no back. It's not even like back-to-back around the bye or anything like that. There are no back-to-back home games. It's really kind of weird. Check the XYZ axis on Nola's curve on Fangraph. It validates what eyes tell you. Look, Nooms, and you know me, I'm an Aaron Nola, give him time supporter. But, I don't know what to do. That performance on Wednesday night was as bad as humanly possible. The offense actually gave him 5 runs in the first. Down 5-1 or up 5-1 after the first inning. And he just got lit up. Now, I will say Rob Thompson should have pulled him from that game probably a little sooner. But let me tell you something. I can't defend him. I can't. There's nothing I could do to defend him. And I have no idea what you do. Now, Big Al suggests, and I've suggested this as well, the phantom IL stint maybe is the best bet. Andrew Painter will be coming up soon. He had another 5-inning outing last night. He had a couple runs this time, but whatever. Do you go to a 6-man rotation, but keep Wheeler on his 5th day always and just rotate the rest? I actually wrote out 4 trips through the rotation doing that. Nola would only have 3 out of every 4 rotations through the rotation. I don't know what you do. You can't demote him. Aaron Nola's not a bullpen-type pitcher. So what do you do with him? I don't know. I think the best option is the Phantom IL. Like I was looking at his, I was double-checking it. I mean, we're only into year 2 of a 7-year, $25 million a year contract. You got to find a way to fix Aaron Nola. You can't let this snowball out of control even worse because you are on the hook for the next 5.5 years on this guy. He also has a full no-trade. I went to look at his contract details. He's got a full no-trade clause, so you can't trade him either unless he would want out. There is a serious Aaron Nola problem. So the best bet, in my opinion, is you just sit him. Sit him down for a while. And the amount of break on each axis. I get what you're saying. And because you've been saying it for a little while, I tried to pay closer attention on Wednesday night. The part of it while I was at work and he was pitching in it. And I noticed that not only has his velo gone down, the movement on those pitches just isn't there. I would be, I say a phantom IL stint, Nooms, for Aaron Nola. But let me tell you something. Maybe there isn't a phantom IL stint coming. Maybe there is legitimately something wrong with that arm. You have to hope it's not mileage issue and hope it's the realization you need to take better care of your body. I mean, I don't know if he doesn't take good care of his body or not. It's not like he gets fat and out of shape, so to speak. Maybe you know the answer to this better than I do, but people always talk about pitchers and dead arms, and you can recover from a dead arm, so to speak. Maybe he's just got dead arm. Maybe it is a mileage issue. He's pitched a lot over the last 10-plus years for the Phillies. He's been one of the most durable pitchers. There's a reason why he's going to be top 10 in games pitched and innings pitched and strikeouts and all these things and wins even for the Phillies when his career is said and done. Because he's been so durable and pitched so much over the last decade for this team. When did he get called up? 14 or 15, something like that? So, I get it. Maybe it is a mileage issue. But you can't he's not a bullpen arm. And he doesn't strike me as a guy that could become a bullpen arm. He doesn't have bullpen stuff or mentality. What, Phil, what most suspect quarterback position in the league? The Steelers? Most suspect in the league. Let me think about this. The Steelers, obviously. The Saints and the Browns. They would be the 3 biggest. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go the Saints is the worst right now. Steelers, Browns, 3rd worst. Anyone know what NBA team's still alive? Yeah, the Pacers have already moved on like 6 weeks ago. Knicks, Celtics, game 6 tonight. Knicks are up 3-2 in that series. OKC and Utah are going to a game 7 tomorrow night with Denver. The Denver Nuggets extended that series last night. And then the Minnesota Timberwolves have already advanced. So it's the winner of the Nuggets Thunder will face the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the winner of the Knicks Celtics will face the Indiana Pacers. Nola just needs to talk to Jamie Moyer. That's actually not an outlandish thing to say or weird thing. Like, it probably felt weird typing that out. But it's actually not that weird. I mean, Jamie Moyer found a way to survive till he was 48 years old. With slow stuff. He figured out how to work the corners and work the eyes of hitters up and down, in and out. Now, Jamie Moyer didn't have the type of movement on his pitches, if I remember correctly, that Aaron Nola did. Aaron Nola's got that big curveball. Aaron Nola's got that knuckle curve, and he's got a bigger arsenal that Jamie Moyer did. Jamie Moyer, with as little as he had, was able to make quite a career for a very long time. So that's actually not crazy. Where's Jamie Moyer? Is he a pitching coach anywhere? Is he? I know he was an announcer for the Phillies radio at one point, or TV. Where's Jamie Moyer these days? What's he doing? Timberwolves. I don't think the Timberwolves have ever made a conference finals before. Gino and Raiders. Gino and the Raiders' new coach predictions. I have no idea. I do know the Eagles' schedule has the Raiders coming to Philly, which it's kind of not being discussed as much as I thought it would be. And that's that Chip Kelly will be making his first return to Philadelphia since he was fired as the head coach of the Eagles all the way back after the 2015 season. This will be the first time Chip Kelly is back in Philly on a sideline. I think he actually came as a visit once or twice. But that'll be interesting because Chip Kelly is the Raiders' new offensive coordinator. Is it wrong that I hope the Celtics come back? No, I want them to come back. I would love to see the Knicks fall after the fans lick their lips. Yeah, absolutely. Big Al. And the amount of Knicks fans cheering on an injury, which you'll never see me ever do in the history of ever. I'll never cheer for a player injury. And Knicks fans were cheering that injury like there's no tomorrow. I wanted the Celtics to win that series before Jason Tatum went down. Now they got to do it. We had win it for Jerome or bring it home for Jerome. What do the Celtics got for Tatum? Like, come up with some kind of nickname. I don't know. The last 3 games are rough. Commanders, dude, Big Al. If we do not have the division locked up by the time week 16 rolls around, it is going to be an extremely tough end. Now, the one thing I will say, and I'm giving a lot more credit than most to the Washington Commanders team, but all the great additions that the Washington Commanders brought in are like 28, 30, 32-year-old guys. So maybe our hope is that our young, youthful team is healthy come week 16, and the Commanders isn't. Because the Commanders and the Eagles are neck and neck in town. Just their town's old and maybe washed by that point. But we can easily go 1-2 to close the season. Easily. And that's a problem. Nola would help his short-term cause by hitting a batter or two and pitching inside more often. Batters are way too that's I mean, you don't want to hit people or whatever, but pitch inside and take that chance. The problem is with that, Nooms, is that if he hits a batter and puts somebody on base, then gives up a home run versus giving up the home run with nobody on base. You know, I mean, he's just not pitching well enough to give up free base run, so to speak. Chip Kelly, Raiders prediction, I have no idea. No idea. I didn't even notice you changed your name today. You're back to Josh Allen. You're no longer Memphis Mids. You're Josh Allen's mid-career now. I got you. How did Chip Kelly go down in Philly? Thoughts? Because once he took over player personnel control and started making player decisions on who to sign, who to trade, I mean, trades away, LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson, you know, they were the problems. We traded for Kiko Alonso. Once Chip Kelly started making the decisions on who to bring in and get out of the city, that's when Chip Kelly went down. I mean, first 2 years of Chip Kelly, I mean, we made the playoffs his first year. We were 10-6 his second year, just barely missing the last wild card spot. So Chip Kelly wasn't doing bad in his time here as a coach. The problem was his ego was bigger than his actual knowledge of the game. So although Washington made moves to improve their roster, they are not in the same league as the Eagles. See, I disagree on that. I think the Washington's right there with the Eagles. By treating people in their 20s like they were teenagers. That too. And Nooms, I'm surprised. You know, I always say this when you go out there in football or basketball and you bring in a college coach to coach in the pros, this point here is a big deal. That's why I always said that Jay Wright with Villanova wasn't a guaranteed lock to be a great NBA coach. We've seen it with, we can name pro and or basketball and football coaches. Billy Donovan, he was okay. I was thinking of the one dude, and I can't even think of his name, the football coach that went to Jacksonville just recently. Nick Saban failed at it. Bill O'Brien failed at it. There's loads of college coaches that know how to talk to teenage kids, but they don't know how to talk to professionals making more money than they are. Chip Kelly said his scheme was greater than players. That was his downfall. That's a great one. That's a good point there as well. He figured he could plug and play anybody, and it would just magically work, which is not true. Buffalo, thanks you for Shady. Most exciting. Yeah, absolutely agree. We hate you for that. Urban Meyer is who I was thinking of, yeah. Urban Meyer. Thank you, Anthony. And how you doing this morning, Anthony? A lot of college coaches, football and basketball, fail when they go to the pros. And it's pretty simple because they don't know how to, in college, you're talking to kids on scholarships. You're talking to kids, and back then, there was no NIL contracts or anything like that. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm sore as shit playing 18 holes of golf yesterday. First, it was wet and slick out there from all the rain. Then it got really hot and humid after the rain stopped. So just a little backstory on my golf game. I played in a charity golf event yesterday down at Wyncote in Oxford. And I haven't played golf since October. I went there a little early, warmed up on the range, was feeling good. First 8 holes was crushing the golf ball. Playing great, hitting good shots. And then all of a sudden, between 2 holes, there was a backup because they were doing a charity contest. You pay $10 for a putting contest. Great. Well, that backed the course up by like 15 minutes. So I sat for 15 minutes, and my muscles and my body got very stiff and very locked up. So for the last 10 holes, I shot like crap. So my body now, I realize, once I get loose, I better stay loose because my body can't handle a little get loose, sit, and then get loose again. It just doesn't happen like that. That's what happens when you get old. Cooled down, tightened up. Man, you know what also at that point is about when it got warm and I took my jacket off? I think maybe taking my jacket off was the part of the problem too yesterday for my golf game. My golf game was, for the first time in 7 months playing, was phenomenal for the first 8-9 holes. I couldn't have asked for a better start to the day for me. Checking out some scores here on the PGA Championship. Hatton is 2 under today. JJ Spawn's 2 under. Joakim Neiman and George Spieth are 2 under. Not too bad of a start for those guys. Some bad scores out there right now. Aaron Rise 1 over, one of my guys this week. Keith Mitchell, Killer Keith +3. They're your updated scores of the guys on the course right now. Phil, how do you think playing opponents feel when they play with Brian Harman, waiting and waiting? They feel your pain. Yeah, they're professional athletes, though. They should be able to stay loose a little longer than a 44, almost 45-year-old out of shape man that swings golf clubs once every 7 months. Trump Persuasion Agent doesn't care. And I don't think he's got to wait 15 minutes in between holes, just so you know. I think they clear the path for the Donald whenever he's out there. Anyway, back to talk here. So, yeah, we're talking Aaron Nola, what to do with him. We're talking the Eagles' schedule, obviously Chip Kelly as well, because that's something there. But I want to throw Rick Tocchet into the conversation as well, because I know some of you are Flyers fans, and some of you still care about this hockey organization in this city. And I know we hate the idea of Rick Tocchet because he's another retread in this city. And I know all those things. And I didn't want Rick Tocchet either. But Rick Tockett's a winning head coach. And why does it say that because he was a former player here 20, 30 years ago, that he wasn't the right choice for this team? Now, some of the reports that I'm reading on articles saying that if you read between the leaves, that they think Rick Tocchet can attract great free agents to this city again. And maybe that was part of it as well. Maybe his plan to build up the organization back to a winner, or at least a consistent winner, is what sold Briere and Jonesy on him. Thoughts on Caleb Williams saying UFL better than Bears? I've said it before on Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is overrated. I think Caleb Williams has to show more maturity. I think Caleb Williams has got the physical skill set. but I don't know if he's ever going to be a great pro quarterback. I don't. Now, we'll see him firsthand, week 13 on Black Friday. But I don't think there's any more excuses for him after this year because he's got the weapons on that team. Tocchet isn't the worst hire by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not something that moves the needle enough. It's kind of like one of the things like I feel like, and I did a little short video on this, Nooms, I kind of feel like with the Flyers, we've been talking the same thing for like since 1995. Retreads, no goalie, frustration with the ownership of the team. It's like the same song and dance every week, every year with the Flyers. Every offseason, we have the same conversation. When are we going to get a goalie? Same thing every coaching cycle. Can't they look outside the organization? It's the same story, and that's why I think people get upset because the organization hasn't changed in 30 years. Hell, you can say 50 years, considering it's been 50 years since they've won a cup. Over 50 years. 73? That'd be 52 years. I think people are just upset that he really only had one good year as a head coach. I hope Tocchet will be good. I hope Rick Tocchet will work out. I do. I really hope Rick Tocchet is the answer. Will he be? I don't know. Now, I said it many a times, and I know Rick disagrees with me on this. Danny Briere gets this offseason to prove himself. He's hired the coach. Now let's see what he does in the draft. And then after this next season, then maybe I'll be criticizing Danny Briere and Jonesy. And if they do well, maybe I won't be. Does Caleb still have that smoking? I have no idea who his girlfriend was, is, whatever. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I'm not 12 years old. Sports guys were having good time on Caleb. He came into loaded offense. I just don't get Caleb Williams. I don't get the hype. I don't. And until week 13 when we face him, he's not even in my thought process. Well, until I have to do my quarterback rankings for 2025, which he's kind of bottom middle of the pack there. So yeah, the Rick Tocchet thing. Can he work out here in Philadelphia? Absolutely. Will he work out here in Philadelphia? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, I guess is the way to put it. I'm going to be curious to see how it works out. Nola, what's happening? How you doing today? Coaching matters very little in hockey. It's time for the Flyers to spend money and get more firepower here. Also, you need to keep Mitchkov happy. So, hold on. First off, on a side note, did I hear something about Mitchkov getting into a car accident or a motorcycle accident? I didn't have time to look it up yesterday playing golf and stuff. But that's something I got to throw out there. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, and coaching matters. I don't know if coaching matters or not in hockey. I'm not a hockey expert. But they do need to spend money. And they have a lot of draft picks. I think they got 7 picks in the first 2 rounds. Now, again, I read some reports from some Flyers reporters that's saying that Rick Tocchet should be able to attract free agents a little easier than some of the other candidates, which maybe that'll help them. I'm giving Rick Tocchet this offseason, okay, to figure it all out, to put the pieces together. And he gets this year. And then we'll see. This is the year. He's been talking since he took the job, talking about 2026. So the 2025-6 season is here. The goal is to make the playoffs and start making runs in the 26 playoffs. Well, now's his time. He talked the talk. Now it's time to walk the walk, Nola. So we'll see. So while everybody wants to bash the Rick Tocchet hiring, and I'm one of them to an extent, I'm also willing to give it the year. And we'll revisit whether it was an awful hire or not next offseason. Where Bo Nix? I can't tell you that, but I do like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix more than Caleb Williams, that's for sure. He was a passenger in a car that crashed in Dubai. I did remember reading Dubai in the tweet. But then I also read another tweet saying, well, the reports are coming out of Russia, so you can't really believe any of the Russian reports on it. So I don't know what to believe. So we'll wait to see what he has to say. Like the Fultz motorcycle accident or a real one. It wasn't, hold on. Didn't Kelly Oubre get into some kind of an accident too? I don't know. Markelle Fultz, as long as he doesn't end up with thoracic shoulder, whatever the frick it was, syndrome, Shouldn't even know what thoracic surgery was. Thoracic, I forget how the I can't even remember what that injury to Fultz was now. Fultz still annoys me. I was actually kind of shocked that Markelle Fultz didn't play in the NBA this year, honestly. That's right. Kelly Oubre got hit right on his bike. That kind of was like, whoa, what the hell happened? And then because of how much of a disaster the season was, it kind of just got swept under the rug, and we never really got any more information on that. There was the door ring camera, him walking home with the bike and telling his girl he got hit. Like, one of those weird, crazy situations. Like, when that happened very early in the season, the Kelly Oubre situation, should that have been like the sign that the Sixers season was going to be a complete and utter disaster? Like, really? It's crazy. Reports out of Russia is Phillies needs to do quarterback ranking. Hurts not one. We're saving it. We're saving it. I got to work. I can't rush my quarterback ranking. I got to sit. I got to write them out. I got to let it marinate a little bit. I got to bump people up, bump people down, then back up and back down. Talk about maybe like sometime in June. We'll do just like we did last year. I'll release 5 names on every show. Some at the top, some in the middle, some at the bottom, until we get through all 32. That's just the way we're going to do it. Doing it the way we always do it. That's how we do it. So, it's kind of got to be patient. Hurts is definitely above. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I already said it. I'm going to make Jalen Hurts number 1 on my quarterback list this year. I am. A, because I think he's the most clutch quarterback in the NFL and the best quarterback in the NFL. B, he's the Super Bowl MVP. C, hey, the algorithm helps. So I'm on as well. Play into the algorithm and piss some people in other cities off by putting Jalen Hurts first. Why not? You know, June's like 2 weeks away, too, so you know. Just putting that out there. All right, got to do a quick refresh on the PGA Championship leaderboard. Tyrell Hatton is still -2 for the day. Cam Davis, who was tied for the lead, is now +1. Well, not tied for the lead. He was tied for the lead for a while until Johnny Vegas went nuts yesterday. Spieth is up to 2 under today. That's pretty good. Let's see any of my guys where they're at. Patrick Reed is even so far today. And Killer Keith's still +3 for the day. Aaron Rye's now +2 for the day. God damn it. And how low will Herbert be? He may be in the 20s for Phil. Let me check my tentative list right now. Yeah, I got to work on my tentative list. He's definitely not low enough on the list right now for me. I think he's like number 11 on that list right now, and that can't be the case. So we'll definitely have to work on that. I have some renewed excitement in the Sixers. I like some of their pieces. They just need to get their Black Cloud Joel Embiid situation figured out fast. See, the problem is, Rolla, with the Sixers, I can't get excited about the Sixers because there's 2 options. You trade Joel Embiid and basically take 2 steps back, or you go back to him this next year and hope he's healthy, but you don't know. And even if Joel Embiid comes back next year and plays 20 games and looks great, in the back of our head, it's always going to be, but when will he get hurt? So I don't know. Now, we can argue about, should they go out and make a bold trade for Giannis, Lauri Markkanen? Should they try to find a way to move on from Paul Pierce? Should they trade pick 3 back to pick up multiple picks? Like, there's plenty of arguments to be made that there's a lot of possibilities on what the Sixers can do this offseason. But I don't know. I don't know if I could say I have renewed excitement. I have renewed curiosity. Maybe that's the word I want to say, Rolla. Curiosity. He's a middle-of-the-pack quarterback, Anthony. You know my opinions on that. This weather is giving headaches like the Tocchet pick as head coach. Yeah. Herbert blows, yes. I can't give the Sixers any more of my time and attention It's an abusive relationship, and I hope them the best, but I just can't anymore. But then when something big happens, you get sucked right back in, like always, right? You know, I get everybody that's excited. I understand why. Everybody that's frustrated, like Duck, I get why. I kind of fall in between. I kind of fall in the sense of, I'm curious. How can Daryl Morey screw it up this time? Or can Daryl Morey actually follow through on his word and figure some shit out? It's kind of where I sit with it. Memphis versus Brahmas, Friday Night Lights. Yeah, and I'm sure like 30,000 people will watch, and 20,000 of those people will be in Josh Allen's mom's basement because that's where he probably lives right now. Yeah. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Please subscribe. We're talking all things right now. We've literally covered hockey, golf, baseball, basketball, football, UFL, Josh Allen's basement, mom's basement. We've literally covered it all so far on this show today. So keep talking. Keep giving me thoughts and opinions on everything. We're covering the PGA Championship. My bad back. JJ Spawn, 3 under on the day to get to 3 under overall through 4 holes. Wow. Max Homa, 2 under so far. I like that. I got him in my showdown golf lineup today. Let's see how my showdown lineup's doing early with that Max Homa 2 under. That's got to score me a point or two. Might have put JJ Spawn in there too. Today. I don't know. We'll have to see here. Let's see what my showdown lineup looks like today. It is not looking good today, my showdown lineup. How about that? Big surprise. Let's see here. I didn't put Max Homa. I thought I put Max Homa in there. Never mind. Yes, I didn't. Josh Allen wasted career. I just might watch now that I know when and where I can watch it. Yeah, dude, I tried. Duck, week 1 of the season this year for the UFL, I said this when it happened. I gave it. I was flipping through the channels. There's nothing on TV. Like, oh, there's a UFL game on. I put it on. The first play I saw was a deep pass from a quarterback on one of the teams that came up literally 10 yards short. And the guy was able to come back for the ball, avoid 4 defenders, and catch the ball, and then re-avoid all 4 defenders again and score a touchdown. It was the most pathetic play of quarterback and defense that I'd ever seen. Jarrett McCain is a social media phenom. He doesn't even have to spend his basketball money. It's probably true. It's probably true. And shout out again to Sean Bernard for following through on his statement and doing 10 Jarrett McCain TikToks this past month here, as he said he would if the Sixers missed the playoffs. You know, Jarrett McCain, there's hope. Tyrese Maxey, I guess there's still hope. Whatever they take with pick 3, 5, 7, 10, whatever, there's hope. But I just don't trust Daryl Morey to do the right thing. And Daryl Morey's messaging, mister, is so all over the place. Duck is the man. We know that. We know that. We know. Like, you ever watched a Giants game? What about a Giants game? I've watched Giants games. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about how bad their quarterback play is? Because that is definitely the thing. Their quarterback play is definitely horrendous right now. And always has been. All right, there's 11 likes on this video so far. Really killing me this week with the likes, guys, and the subscriber count. Where's K1? K1's no show today because K1 promised we'd be at 520 today for the show, and he's not. By the way, day 3 on mushroom coffee. I don't feel any different yet. They said it could take up to a week to feel different. We'll see if the mushroom coffee actually makes me feel any better or not. But yeah. Trying to refresh a couple things here real quick. All right. How many years in a row were Sixers asked to get good draft picks? Well, we had the process. We had a lot of bad years. Don't remember the exact number, but yeah. Can't wait for the Eagles to destroy Russ this year. Look, you know, I'm curious to see. I haven't looked at the Giants' schedule, how it plays out. But I would be wrong to say that the Giants will just be an absolute dumpster fire again and win like 3 games and end up with a top pick again. You got to think the Giants' defense is going to be a little bit better. You got to think that Russell Wilson will be a little bit better than who they had last year throwing to Malik Neighbors. I don't know who their running back is right now. They still don't have a great offensive line. But you got to think that Russell Wilson, going from Daniel Jones to Russell Wilson, is good for 1 or 2 more wins for the Giants, right? Forget, who was their top draft pick, too? I don't remember who they drafted in the first round. I got to think that the Giants win 5 games without looking at the schedule, maybe 6. Dallas, 7 to 9 wins, maybe 9 wins. Washington, 11. The Eagles, 11. Everybody in the division got better, even by a little margin. The schedules are tough for our division this year. The Giants have the hardest schedule. The Eagles have the 4th hardest schedule. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Sipping coffee, not a good idea. What? It's mushroom coffee. We played both the Commanders and Giants twice. That's kind of weird. Like, really weird that we're playing the Commanders and the Giants both within 3 games. It's weird. Giants' schedule is brutal. The defense is going to be good, though. Jackson Dart was their top pick. No, they picked somebody before. Jackson Dart was their 2nd first-round pick. Like, they traded, it was like 21 or whatever. I think they had somebody in the top 5, too. It's been a long time since I looked at the NFL draft board. I don't even know if it's not even on the ESPN website anymore to look at. Sports is a huge part of my life. After football season, I like to cruise into the NBA. The 6th round of season disrupt that. It did for me as well. As a guy that's got to go live, miss the 5 days. Well, I don't have to. I choose to. It's a big part of my life, and that covers the entire football offseason, basketball. So yeah, it's disrupted me as well. Dart, no. Abdul Carter, yeah. Abdul Carter was who they picked, and then Jackson Dart. So Abdul Carter, no. Was it Abdul Carter? No, Abdul Carter went to the Browns, didn't he? I don't even remember who went where in the NBA and NFL draft. I really don't have any recollection of the NFL draft anymore. It's kind of comical that I don't remember the NFL draft at all. Like, really, really, really comical how little I remember of it. Let's see here. Who did they take? Let's look at their roster here. Looking at their offensive line. It wasn't an offensive lineman. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Barnes. Yeah, I don't see anybody on there. I don't even remember who they took with their first pick in the draft. I really don't. There's a difference between being a better passer and a better quarterback. Sometimes people get that disrupted. That's a fair statement. What's the over/under on Tommy Cutlett starting this season? Is he still on the team? Phil, don't know the name for mushrooms. I guess I don't. Wasn't Bill Carter? Oh, there he is. There he is. All the way down there at linebacker. They got him listed as the strong SLB down there. Yeah, of course, Abdul Carter. So Abdul Carter's going to make them better alone. Yeah, Carter did. Sorry. I don't know what's going on this morning. It must be the mushroom coffee is supposed to bring my mind more clarity. It hasn't worked yet. Russell Wilson is the Giants quarterback. And I believe he's listed as he's listed as the starter ahead of Jameis Winston right now. Jackson Dart's listed as their 3rd. And Tommy Cutlett's listed as their 4th-string quarterback. Penn State's Abdul Carter, an edge rusher with the 3rd. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. For some reason, I wanted to say Cleveland had the 3rd pick, but they did. So, whatever. Anyway, not worried about it. The Giants will be better based on Abdul Carter and Russell Wilson. They're not going to win a lot of games, but they'll be better than they were last year. They won't end up with the 3rd overall pick next year. We'll say it like that. That's how I look at it. And who said this here? Where was it? Where was the Tommy Cutlett's joke? Here it is. Over/under. Who starts more games for the Giants? Tommy Cutlett's or Jameis Winston? Or Jackson Dart? Who starts the most games out of those 3? At what point do they bench Russell Wilson and start Dart or Cutlett's? That's the question. Maybe. Just throwing it out there. You never know. You never know what's going to happen right there with the quarterback situation. With any of those. Yes, the Eagles did get Adoree Jackson. Not really anything of significance there. Adoree Jackson isn't even a lock to make the roster, so to speak. Adoree Jackson's a guy that right now is listed as a starter on the depth chart on ESPN. But Keely Ringo will be starting. Mac McWilliams could impress and do something, in theory. Eli Ricks could. Adoree Jackson's not even a lock to make the team, in my opinion. Will Russ be benched by the time the Eagles play them? The Eagles play them like week 6? No, not by week 6. Not by week 6. Hold on, let's see here. Giants schedule. They start with the Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're their 6th game of the season. In theory, they've only got one chance to win in those first 6 weeks. The Saints. Wow. That's a brutal start. At Washington, followed by at Dallas. Then you finally get your home opener, and it's against the Chiefs, followed by the Chargers. Then you go back on the road for the Saints. That is a brutal schedule for the Giants to start the season. At Commanders, at Dallas, home Chiefs, home Chargers. And that's the home opener for the Cowboys, too, in week 2. Wow. Maybe Russell Wilson will be benched by the time we get around to him. Ringo stinks. Well, it's debatable. Josh Jones, I tried to watch UFL. It's a reason why those guys aren't exactly. My point exactly. Giants starting 1-5. Very, very. They might even lose to the Saints. The Saints are going to be even worse than the Giants probably. So they have a chance to win that Saints game. Then they'll lose to the Eagles. Then they go the Broncos and the Eagles. They might go 1-5, 1-6, 1-7. Then they go 49ers at home. I won't give them a win. 2-7. Lose the Bears 2-8. Packers 2-9. Lions 2-10. Patriots are actually going to stink. So we'll say 3-10, 3-11 to the Commanders. Vikings. We'll give them a 4th win against the Vikings, a 5th win against the Raiders. So yeah, I just gave you 5. I just gave you 5 wins for the New York Giants right there. That's an improvement. No, I just spitfired through the Giants schedule and gave the Giants 5 wins. Okay, mushrooms are a fungus specifically called mycelium. Some mushrooms have a psilocybin, which is a mild altering substance. Yeah, I don't know. Mushroom coffee is supposed to help. It's the new rage, and my wife has fallen for it and bought a massive amount of mushroom coffee. Cuppa is the brand, CUPPA. Peanut swears by this brand too. He said the other day, and we started texting back and forth on it. It tastes decent. I don't feel much different, but it tastes different, or it tastes good. I want to live in a world where year-round football be paid. It's going to happen at some point. Someone hates the Eagles. Todd, what's up, my man? Hope you're well. Yeah, schedule's not good. But Todd, I said it earlier in the show. I kind of think you're going to start seeing a trend where all team schedules start to feel weird and wacky because football's turning into a weird sport. You're going to start seeing Tuesday games eventually, Wednesday games. Football's going to be on your TV 7 days a week when it's all said and done, in my opinion. I think the Pats are favored in 8 of their 18 games. Yeah, I think a lot of people are hyping the Patriots because they spent all this money the first 2 days of free agency. Everyone's hyping up Drake May. I don't. Everyone's hyping up Mike Vrabel as their new head coach, and I said it in the coaching hype cycles last 2 years. Vrabel's overrated, in my opinion. Now, Vrabel's disciplinary personality might work for a young Patriots team to instill some discipline, but there's not that much talent on the Patriots. The Patriots are not going to be that great. They're a 6-7 win team, in my opinion. I am not. Don't you live in a mushroom? I do live in the mushroom capital world. Doesn't mean I know everything about mushrooms. What a horrible PGA Championship. I think it settles down today. It's going to change. Max Homa is up to 4 under today. Must have had an eagle. He did have an eagle. Max Homa. Steven Fuentes talked about Max Homa. What about that man? That is crazy to see. George Spieth still 2 under. Oh, Berg's 1 under today. Bryson's 1 under now. There we go. There's my boy Bryson getting under par to start the day. Gotta love that. Justin Thomas 1 under. Did anybody see the shot Justin Thomas pulled off yesterday on the 18th hole along the creek there? If you haven't, look up Justin Thomas's shot yesterday. Holy shit, that was a hell of a shot from Justin Thomas yesterday. What's the biggest sport globally? It's a toss-up between cricket and soccer, as the Europeans call it, foosball. But cricket might actually be globally a bigger sport, honestly. Someone was saying Casey's schedule is the most difficult. Give me a second. Let me switch from Giants to the Kansas City Chiefs. Their schedule started Chargers and the Eagles. They're going to go 1-1, 2-1, because then they got the Giants. We'll say 3-1 because they're going to beat the Ravens at 2-2. We'll give them 2-2 to start. 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 5-6, 6-6, 7-6, 8-6, 9-6, 10-6. I got the Chiefs ballparking, spitfiring. I got the Chiefs at 11-6 based off their schedule. People love Drake May. It is wild to see the hype he is getting. I mean, he's getting more hype for this upcoming season than Jaden Daniels, which is insane to me. Jaden Daniels proved to be an all-star player, a star player. Drake May was okay. Everyone's assuming Drake May is going to have a sophomore slump, or everyone's assuming Jaden Daniels is going to have a sophomore slump, but everyone thinks Drake May is going to light the world on fire in his second year. Nuts, Anthony. Are you still high? No, we've talked a bunch of Aaron Nola. Todd, tell me, what would you do with Aaron Nola? You can't bench him, but you can phantom IL stint him. You can't bullpen him. You can't trade him. Maybe you go to a 6-man rotation when Painter's ready. Or you just let him keep working it out. I think the best bet is to put him on the injured list for the next 4 weeks to let him rest up and go to the minors and figure things out. Yeah, it's a toss-up between soccer and cricket. I want to see if I know my sports, man. As UFL grows, hoping the NFL will let practice squad guys go down and get reps. You know, honestly, that's not a horrible statement from you. It is something I've contemplated as well. You make the UFL kind of like a minor league, like the G League for basketball. But the UFL would have to grow a lot more for that to happen. Cricket has the most fans. You can't really beat 3 billion between exactly. Because of India and the population of India, I think human being-wise, probably cricket, but soccer's probably bigger globally. Cricket's only big in a few countries, but soccer is in more countries. Giants technically have the most difficult, but that is because they play the Eagles twice. That's fair. Looks like we will not be having it. There's no block party. The blockheads can cry themselves to sleep. Michael Block is not. Is he a morning guy today? Yeah, he's 1 over today. He's 5 overall. Poor Michael Block, not getting his 15 minutes of fame this time. Yes, Nola is, and he's got a full no trade clause as well. It's not a good contract. It's looking like that. But see, here's the thing with Aaron Nola. That contract is awful. We're all agreeing now. He stinks right now. But we got him for 5.5 more years. So the best thing to do is figure out a plan to get him better. And if that is to sit him for a month, to work it out, to rest his arm, whatever. You got to take that chance, right? You've got to find a way to fix Aaron Nola. Because that money and that contract ain't going anywhere. The reason they think Daniels is going to have a slump because how amazing his freshman year run was. Same with Knicks. May had an average season, so less chance of a slump. See, the thing is, we saw how good Daniels and Knicks can be. We haven't seen how good May is. So we're assuming the players we saw good from are going to get bad, and we're assuming the player we saw bad or average from is going to get better, and I just don't buy that. You also got to look at the teams around these guys. The other two got better teams around them than Drake May. I'm surprised at some of the struggles UFL players have as they are usually drafted or accomplished college players. If you're not on an NFL team, I saw a stat, and I forget, I don't have it in front of me. Just the it was breaking down how many high school varsity football players are that then make it to Division I football, then Division I football players that make it to a senior as a Division I football player, then make it into the combine, then make it into the draft, and then make it more in the NFL than 4 years. And that number just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. It's hard to become an NFL player. That's what makes even the worst NFL player so special. I've never tried shrooms. Never tried them. Never will. I just no need, no need, no want, no desire, in my opinion, for that. Hell, according to Peanut, this might cut down on my other consumptions of adult activities. You know, to help me sleep if I drink more of this mushroom coffee. Wasted Career UFL doesn't have the resources that the NFL teams do. So tape, facilities, and coaching is just not there. Exactly. But it's also just plain facts. Like, If you're not good enough to make the NFL, you're just not good enough. And there's a reason, and you see that when you watch UFL football, there's a reason why they're not on NFL teams. So it is what it is. Guys, we're almost at the top of the hour here. It's almost 9 o'clock. If you haven't already, please like this video and share this video. Please subscribe. Unfortunately, still stuck at 519 subscribers. Didn't gain any yesterday. Didn't gain any this morning. We're still stuck at 11. So people like Todd and guys that are coming in late to the show have not hit that like button, so please do that, guys. We've been talking Aaron Nola. We've been talking the NFL and the schedules of these NFL teams. Am I crazy to think, we're also talking Rick Tocchet, PGA Championship, amongst other things. Am I crazy to think, and I made this statement a few minutes ago, that there will come a time when the NFL is 7 days a week, when eventually they have Tuesday and Wednesday games as well? Like, I really, truly think that could possibly happen. Absolutely, Kurt Warner's an anomaly. What's his name? Was it Tyler Heineke from Washington that was also a UFL player? I mean, he didn't have the Kurt Warner career. I want to say there's one or two other quarterbacks that have started games in the NFL that when it was the USFL and the XFL and whatnot, that's where they got found. But yeah, Kurt Warner's the anomaly. It is. And Kurt Warner used his fight and his determination and his effort to get better. And he did. Wants more viewers, but won't share because we can't just do everything all at once. It's more about expanding teams, longer season than games every day. Yeah, I mean, I expect more teams. I definitely expect longer seasons. I guarantee within the next 5 years, there's that 18th game. And you might get a second bye week mixed in as well. So you're going to have a 20-week NFL regular season because they can't. The nature of the game is too tough to play that much. It is, but if you start working in 2 bye weeks and 2 more football teams or 1 more football team, if you expand the league, expand the schedule, and I'm not saying we're going to go to Tuesday and Wednesday games regularly next year. I'm saying over the next 5 to 10 years, over the expansion and growth of the NFL, if a streaming service offers enough money, I don't know, Netflix has got Christmas now. If Netflix goes to the NFL and says, we'll give you $2 billion for 1 Tuesday night game every year on top of our Christmas contract, let me tell you something. The NFL would say, sure, okay. If Apple TV, which shows 1 Major League Baseball game every so often, I know like 1 or 2 Phillies games a year are on it, goes to the NFL and says, we'll give you $1 billion if you give us 1 Wednesday night game every week, or $500 million for 1 Wednesday night game every other week. They're going to say, sure. It's just kind of the way I'm thinking. I loved the USFL back in the day. The Stars were such a fun team. Never really got in DFL. However, it would be better, more games on national TV as shows probably don't get ratings with internet. Go Anthony. Wasn't Steve Young USFL? I mean, we're talking a long time ago with that. I think Jim Kelly was too. Wasn't he? There's a reason why we fold the NFL Europe. There isn't enough cities and areas that could support teams like that. With the current administration, will make it tough to open up European cities. I'm not saying European cities, but I'm sure there's NFL cities or U.S. cities that can use a football team. I mean, I would have to look at a map to kind of find them and figure it out. Trying to think. You know, San Diego doesn't have a team right now. Oakland doesn't have a team right now. Trying to think of what cities you could throw NFL games into. Somewhere in South Charleston. Now Charleston probably couldn't do it. Just trying to think off the top of my head. There's got to be cities. I'm trying to think of a map. I'm not the greatest geography person here. You know how I'll do this? I'll look at other leagues. Okay, NBA. Any teams in the NBA that don't have a team in the Cleveland support one? Oh, they got the Browns. Duh. I'm an idiot. Orlando? Too close to Tampa, maybe? Could Charlotte? I don't know. Memphis, no. San Antonio, maybe. Sacramento, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Portland, New Mexico, maybe. St. Louis used to have a team, and they did pretty well. So, yeah. Steve Young and Reggie White. Jim Kelly was great in the UFL. Yeah, I thought he was in the UFL. The Minister of Defense. March 22, Apple signed a 7-year deal with MLB for broadcast, $85 million per year. Everything's about the bottom dollar, Big Al. So that's why I feel like that there is that ability. Austin, Texas, San Diego. I think San Diego could support a team. I think they did fine with the Chargers for a very long time. I think there's room for that. Oakland couldn't keep Raiders because of the San Francisco TV contracts that box them out. So there is room for the fans. It's all dollars and cents. Charlotte had the Panthers. Where do the Panthers play now? In Carolina, I mean. Didn't have a large enough population to support a team based on their city income. New Hampshire, maybe. Not everyone can play football. You need a high-paying talent. Absolutely. And I'm not saying it would be good. I'm not saying it would be good for the product on the field if they expand the league. They don't care about that. Cleveland could use it. I kind of said Cleveland, and then like, oops, sorry, the Browns. And I'm like, oh, I just forgot about the Browns. And they do play in downtown Charlotte. I couldn't have told you where. In Carolina, they played. Chicago could have a second team. Philadelphia could have a second team, honestly. St. Louis lost the Cardinals because the ownership group didn't make enough money. Well, maybe now the times have changed with contracts and TV contracts and whatnot, so maybe they could. Look, the NFL is going to expand first to an 18th game and a second bye. Then maybe they add another team or two. Then I think in 10 years you're gonna start seeing Tuesday and Wednesday night football games. Just gonna say it. Okay. New York could use a football team. I mean, you've got two New York football teams in the Jets and the Giants, but they're actually just Jersey teams. So change the Jets and the Giants to New Jersey Jets and Giants, and then give New York City a football team. By Phil and Matt. I do need a little globe here. This process of trying to figure out what cities have and don't have football teams is very difficult for me to do. With my understanding of the globe. It's just not working out right now. It's just not. I'm looking at baseball now. Yeah, I don't know. I get it. I get it. Maybe a team in Canada or another team in Canada would work out. There's no Canadian teams right now. Has there ever been? I think Buffalo played in Canada briefly. No, that was baseball teams that played in Canada briefly. Or Toronto teams played. Toronto could be a team that you could get. I bet you there'd be an argument for that. I think you can get a team in Toronto and make that work, or Montreal. Just try to Spitfire. And I know they got Canadian football, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind it. North Dakota State pumps out some NFL players. Maybe the Dakotas. All these smaller cities will have the same problems that Cincy has. They have problems signing good players because of the small markets can't sustain them. Raiders stole our top player scout. We lost another guy yesterday, too. Was that the one you're talking about? Austin's about the only city that is large enough with a big enough fan base to support a team. Maybe. Could Alabama, anywhere in Alabama, support a team? I'm thinking college football now. Cities that have great college football like love, could they support a team? Dear Phil, you just go a few miles over river to Jersey. It's technically Manhattan. Nope, it's not. It's technically still New Jersey. Okay? I don't know a lot about geography, but I know being in the border of New Jersey isn't technically New York. It's technically New Jersey. Bills played half home games in Toronto. I thought that happened. I was thinking, and then I was remembering how the Toronto Blue Jays during COVID had to play in Buffalo, actually. And I'm like, well, maybe that's what I had mixed up. But no, I thought Toronto played some games. That was when their stadium was being built, right? Nebraska someday? Maybe? Current political stance with Canada will make it difficult to have Canada. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right now. But I feel like in 3 years, that'll kind of clear up, right? Ways to create Nebraska is a state that has less population than the city of Philadelphia, with 1,000 times the space. So there's room to build a stadium, right? Phil, if you move a stadium 5 miles into Manhattan, still fit. It don't matter. Technically, they are in New Jersey, so they are a New Jersey football team. Technically, they're not in Manhattan. Technically, they're not in New York. If you want to use the word technically, you better use the word technically accurately. Technically, your use of the word technically is wrong. Plain and simple. It is what it is. And on that note, let me double check the let's get a updated PGA Tour leaderboard. Max Homa's up to 5 under today. I hope Steven Fuentes bet him like he talked about. We got some 2 unders. Victor Hovland's 1 under today. Bryce is still 1 under today. A lot of 1 unders and even pars so far today. Where's my man Aaron Rise? He leveled out yet? He's back to +1. I guess he got one of those back. Patrick Reed's +1. That would be a problem if Patrick Reed missed the cut today for me. Man, interesting way that the leaderboard is shaping up here for the PGA Championship. Man, Max Homa. I wanted to bet that 200 to 1 on Max Homa so bad I couldn't pull the trigger. I had no money left for that one. But a couple of my bets are hanging around. And I don't expect Johnny Vegas to shoot 7 under. You did bet Homa 200 to 1. Dude, I am rooting for you more than anybody if this is true. Chester County is much further, but still some Eagles fans don't care. I don't call them the Chester County Eagles. I call them the Philadelphia Eagles. They are not even in the state of New York. They aren't teaching geography in New York City or state if they think Giants and Jets are New York teams. New York is one team, Bills. Exactly. My golf outing did not get rained out. It sucked. The first 2-3 hours yesterday, it was so wet. I mean, it wasn't raining on us yesterday. The rain had stopped by 9 a.m. But let me tell you something. A wet, soggy course is not fun to play because then you got to stay in your golf. You can't drive the golf court on the court. To drive the golf cart on the course, you have to stay on the path. A lot of walking. And the course I played yesterday, long course with lots of hills. So it was a tough one yesterday. My back, my legs, and my feet hurt like hell today, mister. There ain't no doubt about that. I'm not talking about fan bases. I'm talking about, you said technically they're in Manhattan. They aren't technically in Manhattan. That's why they call them the New Jersey Midgets. Yeah, exactly. I didn't say they had to go to Manhattan. Didn't. I said a team in New York. You could use another team in New York because the only team in New York, the Buffalo Bills, sucks. Just kidding. Just saying. Portland, yeah, I think Portland could do it. Eagles schedule harder than them steroid hearing for Roger Clemens. Marshawn, what's up, my man? Good morning to you. Good to see you. Missed you on the Wednesday night PM show. You didn't hang around. But I've been saying it since second one of the schedule release before the schedule release. This Eagles schedule was very difficult the way it lined up. Very difficult. And it's not that I don't think the Eagles are a great team, Marshawn. I think the Eagles are going to still be a Super Bowl contender. But that schedule, coupled with the Eagles' talent, is an 11-win schedule, most likely. Maybe 12. But that's it. All the people predicting 13, 14 wins, I think, are nuts so. Well, I give you that. They are in New Jersey. You said they're not in New Jersey. You said technically they're in Manhattan because it's 3 minutes away. They're not technically. Go back and fact check your comments. Austin is huge. Where is Peanut? He was here early in the show. Where's Peanut? He could tell you about the state of New York stealing Liberty Island to make the Statue of Liberty theirs. How about Oklahoma? I don't know. Maybe. Brother work been insane. I ain't been around for the stream lately. Nah, you're all good, man. You know I got nothing but love for you. Work's a problem. Work's going to cause me to miss a lot of streams in the coming weeks. It is what it is. I missed yesterday. Well, that was for golf. I got a couple other days. I got an Amazon order next Friday. I won't be doing one next Friday. All right, I got you. YMCA. CA. Like, share, subscribe, guys, please. Marshawn, K1 promised me we'd get back to 520 today. We didn't get to 520. We're still sitting at 519. And we still only got 14 likes on this video. Oh, well. It is what it is. Memphis and Birmingham don't support UFL. Yeah, any team a UFL team is in, you don't even try to put a UFL team there because we know that ain't going to work for them. If you could barely support a UFL team, how are you going to support an NFL team? Well, maybe because the product would actually be better. Maybe because, the football would actually be half decent. But, that's another subject right there. And Patrick Reed's now 2 over today. God damn you, Patrick Reed. Looking at this board here, there's some high scores and some really low scores out there on the PGA Championship today. Oklahoma population has less population. It's just a hair more population than Philly, but it's so distributed across a huge state that they couldn't fill up a stadium for home games. Maybe. Exactly. That's why I ask them all. That's why I tell them all. I was stationed in Fort Drum, New York. It's 20 miles from Canada and half the distance from Buffalo than New York City. Detroit Stadium and St. Louis are very supportive. I think St. Louis would be a city you could put a football team back in, for sure. I do. I really do. So aggravated. My power washer had to cancel on me for being sick. I moved so much stuff. I was like, what are you talking about? But then after I read the full thing, I thought about it. You had a power washer coming to power wash something. He canceled and you had to move something. I get it. That would piss me off too, for sure. Not to be all political and but not in Canada, going to be the 51st state. Look, obviously a team in Canada doesn't work right now, but eventually it will work when everything gets back to normal, right? Not to get political, because I'm not going to get political. That's as deep as I go into the politics. I'd rather continue watching the leaderboard on the PGA Championship than talk about that. What? That things get better in 3 years? I think in 3 years, everything will get better or start to get better. I want to talk about golf for a second. Golf sucks, right? People hate golf, right? I love golf. Some of us love it, okay? Golf's a struggling sport because of the climate between the PGA Tour and LIV. You got the PGA Championship, one of the biggest events of the year. And from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., you can't watch it. Unless you sign up for ESPN+, which, who's going to do that? You would think the PGA Tour would see this as an opportunity to grow their game and put some kind of a stream on their website. Make a deal with the ESPN to put it on TV sooner. You've got an actual channel called the Golf Channel that isn't showing 1 second of golf this weekend. You would think golf would figure that out, but they haven't. Phil thinks we are going to war with Canada. No, I don't think any of that. Fort Drum is no joke. I did cold weather training for Alaska at Drum. Alaska, yeah. Did you talk CeeDee Lamb and escaping Alcatraz? You know what? I saw the video while I was on the golf course yesterday. Marshawn, CeeDee Lamb saying he ain't getting locked down in Guantanamo Bay. Cowboys are talking a lot of trash. We expect the Cowboys fan base to talk trash. We expect Micah Parsons' brother and dad to talk a lot of trash. But the players are now talking a lot of trash. And now Guantanamo Bay's got a picture of CeeDee Lamb in his locker that he's just going to be, it's going to be like Uncle Leo in jail. Jerry. If you get that reference. CeeDee Lamb shouldn't have opened his damn mouth. I cannot pay for ESPN Plus. I already pay for so much. I can't pay for ESPN Plus too. I am not making a statement on that. He's tried to cancel, do everything he said he'd do. Yeah, I'm not talking politics. CD worried about Q, like he lineups on the outside like real. Exactly. So Cooper DeJean, he's going to get locked down by the mighty white star, Cooper DeJean. The one negative about Cube is his hands are put on backwards. Oh, my God. So hilarious. Exactly. I don't think he's ready for Cooper Sharp or Cooper Chet. I'm trying. I don't know. Cooper Island, Cooper Bay. That's too much of a copycat. Can he handle Cooper Sharp? I don't know. I got to come up with a better name than that. Them white sand beaches on Cooper Island. See, I like that. The white sand beaches on Cooper Island. I like that. Now that works. That's a winner right there. That's a mic drop. That's the winning statement right there, in my opinion. Winning statement from you right there. All right, Aaron Rye got back to even par today. Good. That's helpful for me today. Victor Hovland -1. I really need Bryson to make a move here today. Still at 1 under overall. K1 let me down, Mitchie Poo. Please like, share, subscribe. We've been bouncing between 519 and 520 all week, and we're still there. Hit that subscriber brick wall this week. I mean, a couple of those missed interceptions were because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was knocking the ball out of his hands. CD, line that shit up for us. I forgot how much I love to line that shit up from you, Marshawn. We could talk all day, but we're going to see you boys soon. Line that shit up. Exactly. Exactly, yeah. Quinion will be fine. See, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's out here to steal his interception, so he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Quinion Mitchell is getting interceptions is the least of my worries. The least of it. Least of it. No worries whatsoever with that boy. All right, we're coming up to the final 10, 12 minutes. PGA Championship thoughts, golf thoughts, Aaron Nola thoughts, Sixers thoughts, NBA playoffs thoughts, Eagles schedule thoughts, Aaron Nola's thoughts, Rick Tocchet thoughts, whatever you got left. You got 10 minutes to unload your clip of sports talk thoughts for the rest of the day. Most likely you'll see me Monday morning. Most likely. Maybe for an abbreviated show. Maybe I'll do a show on Sunday instead of Monday morning. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not worried about this defense. Sure, I'll freak out if we start 2-2. Yeah, I'm not worried. We might start 2-2. We might start 3-2. I keep saying 3-2 to start the season, Marshawn. We might. But that ain't going to make me freak out. CD going to get picked up by the pooper scooper. The Cooper scooper. I almost read it the wrong way. Pooper scooper. I did read it the wrong way. The Cooper scooper. I love it. The Cooper scooper. Scotty comes back and wins the PGA. I don't know if it's much of a comeback. He shot 2 under yesterday. 15 likes. Not good enough. Not 20, not 25, only 15. No new subscribers, only 15 likes. I know I didn't put a lot of effort into writing a catchy title today, and I know titles mean so much, but I was kind of half-assing it last night when I put the show together. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I can only do so much. Johnny Vegas, pars his first hole, damn it. I need Johnny Vegas to shoot like 12 over today. I know it's kind of rude to suggest that, but that would mean a lot to me if he did that. Don't need him screwing up out the DFS board or the betting board for me this week. Victor Hovland 1 over. Not a fan of that. Let's see. Where's the cut going to be? We're at +1 right now. It could get to +2, but that's about it. So those +3's got to get better. As long as the defense is top 5-7, the run game is lights out. As long as we got John Hurst as our quarterback, I'm not worried. Not worried at all. Good T-shirt. The Cooper Scooper. Get that shit out there. I'll write it down. I'll think about it. I'm not very creative. I got to come up with an idea. K1, you promised me we're going to be at 5:20 to start the show today. We weren't. Let's see. Unless you're screwing with me. No, we're still at 5:19. How have you fallen through on your promise? Because you promised it, okay? You promised it. And Bazootenhoot is 1 under. He tees off at 9:06, so he just teed off. He's probably just finished up the first hole. 1 under, Christian. Buzunhut, okay? That Joy Love TKO commercial for Jalen is amazing. I haven't seen it. I don't know which one you're talking about. I think we are like 3-1 to start. We should be able to beat LA and Tampa. KC will play harder. I think the first game, even against the Cowboys, is a potential loss. Personally, this is going to be the first time major winner this weekend for sure. It feels like it's happened before with the PGA Championship for sure, Steven. So if I'm looking at the current leaderboard and then to predict the first time winner, Hatton, Rye, Homa, they would be the choices in the top of the leaderboard right now for a first-time winner. It's short and to the point. I'll have to look it up if I have time. Otherwise, if you have connected with me on social media, send it to me. Hertz. I got to write down what you wrote. That Hertz Jordan TKO commercial. Jordan TKO. It's in the notes. I'll try to find it if I have time. We'll see if I can or not. But what's the total cost for running a podcast these days? It depends on what you do, Nooms. In theory, this podcast, I have to have StreamYard, which is the service I use to send it out, whatnot. So I think it's like $48 a month. I use Canva to create the graphics for the show. That's, I think, $300 a year. So the basic nut and bolts, the simple part of it, close to $1,000. And that doesn't count time and energy. That doesn't count if you have a microphone or a soundboard. I got 2 laptops and a soundboard here. That costs like initial money. And it's not cheap to do to do this. It's not at all. And quite honestly, this will always stay the same. We're not losing or stopping the STT Sports Network. But I'm going to start looking for some partners, some other networks to work with, to partner with. Because I want PGA Tour credentials for next PGA Championship, which is going to be in Philly at Aronimink Country Club. I can't do that working on my own. So I might have to find a partner for that. And I want to be at Radio Row. It was the goal last year. It almost happened. Then the whole EOP situation happened. So it didn't happen. Whatever. I want to work with a company or a brand somehow that can get me at the PGA Championship next year and at the Super Bowl in California next year. That's what I want. So I'm going to work on that. But it costs a lot of money to do this. Maybe tell your friends at Bohemian Grove how to script it up. What? No, Thorpson's not winning. Oh, what's up, Reality Check? Good morning. I get to go to Lambeau Field November 10th. Awesome. That would be an iconic place to go watch a football game for sure. But glad to see you back, my man. 20-year dream checking off. That could be a show, dreams that we want to check off our bucket list. Eagles fans should show up so we can intimidate other teams. Yeah. I want Radio Row, and I want the PGA Championship. I'm not gonna. I don't even know. It's not there anymore. That's all, plain and simple. Yeah. Philly had Led Zeppelin once. What? Anyway, guys, we're coming to the final 5. I might just call it a moment here, or wrap it up here in a moment. I do got a busy day at the pizza shop. But yeah, I'm just refreshing the leaderboard one more time. Adam Scott to it. I always get Adam Scott and Justin Rose wrong. Had Adam Scott the Masters, not Justin Rose. This week I got Justin Rose and not Adam Scott. I'm so off sometimes. Rehash. What? Do the YMCA dance one more time. Please, guys, if you haven't already, please like, please share, please subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, I think that's why I've got this elbow pain. I think it's because I keep going like this. Can I claim workers' comp for doing a podcast? I do. I'm not going to say what I deduct. Don't deduct. Do you even know what a tax deduction is? I can't. Do you know what a write-off is? You just write it off, right? I write off a lot of stuff. Anything I use at home, all I do is I check my work email once. Well, now my internet is write-off, business expense. I do that. Don't worry. I'm 44. I'll be 45 at the end of the year. So, yes, I am very young. I know. Whatever. Anyway. The one problem with this mushroom coffee instant coffee is. You end up with a bunch of ground or sludge at the bottom of the cup. Have a great day, Adam. I hope you have a good one. Enjoy yourself. When are you going to buy one of those robots to make the pizza for you? I wish. I just rather a robot buy my pizza shop instead of me buying a robot. Anyway, not buying a robot. Not at all. Anyway, what's up on tap this weekend? The Phillies are playing the Pirates in a 3-game series. I'm just going to say the Phillies absolutely 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, have to sweep this Pirates series, and it sets up pretty well having Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, and Christopher Sanchez going. That Sunday game with Paul Skeens pitching for the Pirates is going to be a fun game to watch, how Paul Skeens handles our hitters. It's going to be interesting. Mushroom sludge is not the best part. What? Nobody's more active than me. Better baseball name than Terrell Sledge. I don't even know who that is. Anyway. K1, I'm starting the mushroom coffee diet thingy here. Not diet, switch, so to speak. And I don't actually miss my coffee. It's just having that hot drink in my hand, I guess, is all that I really need. But anyway, time to wrap this shebang up. Guys, one more time. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back Monday, maybe Sunday. We'll see what the work schedule and the life schedule is like. And seeing it's going to be Christopher Sanchez versus Paul Skeens, thinking of Phillies / PGA Championship watch party might actually be in the cards on Sunday. We'll see what the schedule looks like. Phil believes in Joe Hendry. No, I do not. I believe in Mitchie Poo more than I believe in Joe Hendry. Early 2000s Expo? Okay. I don't remember that. I know my early 2000 Expos. Vlad Guerrero was like one of my favorite players when he wasn't going against the Phillies from the Expos. Always loved me some Vlad Guerrero. Anyway, everybody have a fantastic weekend. Be good, be well, be safe. Hopefully, Bryson DeChambeau wins the PGA Championship. The notebook's closed. That's really when it's getting close to quitting time. When the notebook closes, the show is almost over. But with that being said, we'll be back next week. More Phillies talk, more Eagles talk. We'll see what happens this weekend. You got value by me doing a lot of shows this weekend. You say whatever you want. Until I get paid, there's no value. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate this comment because I don't think that and I would never say I don't get enough credit because you guys showing up every day are all the credit I need. The core 12, which obviously is not 12 people, but the core following of the show is all the credit I need. But there's a lot of work that goes into the podcast industry, into the YouTube industry. And almost 99.9% of us do it for the passion and the love and the fun, not the money. Because there's no money for small YouTube channels. There really isn't. There's a lot of fantastic YouTubers out there. Mitchie Poo does believe in Daryl Morgan. He does. Bazoon Hoot weekend to everyone as well. And that's right. We're not the core 12 anymore. We're the Philluminati now. It's starting to roll off the tongue a little easier. Anyway, guys, I do got to wrap it up. I got to get to work, guys. Everybody have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Go Birds! Thank you for another great week, guys. Bubbles up to you.